Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to week number 230, would you believe? So yep, today we are making wardrobe pockets. So for those people who haven't watched my channel, we've done the first 100 weeks, we did a second 100 weeks, we're now doing a third lot. So we are making wardrobe pockets for your junk journal. So I will do a tutorial part to the video first, and then we'll relax and we'll do some mass making, sort of assembly line style, hopefully being really productive and get lots of pieces ready made for our projects. So if you would like to make along today, what are you going to need? Okay, so first thing, scissors. If you prefer to use a paper trimmer or, you know, guillotine or anything like that, then of course use a paper trimmer or a guillotine. I personally find that pretty, you know, nightmarish, to be honest. So I get on much better just with my scissors, but you use, you know, whatever you find best. So scissors, you're going to need some paper, obviously. Now my paper is A4 size and it is all printables. And again, I do say this every week, that's because what I predominantly have these days is printables. Obviously you can use scrapbook paper, you can use, you know, book page, sheet music, anything that you like. The only thing that I would say, if you're using a vintage paper, like a book page or a sheet music or something, you just need to be careful that it's not too brittle, because these are going to be folded, and they're going to be folded regularly when they're, you know, opened and closed. So if you use something quite old, just check it's not too brittle, because it will break. Also, I wouldn't kind of use anything too flimsy. So for example, you know, this book page, it's pretty thin. I would try and opt for a slightly thicker quality book page. So just kind of see what you've got, depending on, you know, kind of, yeah, whether you feel that it's thick enough, really. So papers to make it, you're going to need either bone folder or your scissor handles for squishing. I will be using my scissor handles. And then you're going to need something to use as a closure. Now when I say this, I will obviously demonstrate one or two of these closures, and so then it will become apparent. So we can use like what I don't know really what the terminology would be, but like a tuck closure, which for a tuck closure you need one piece and then another piece which tucks behind it. Now for things like this, I would recommend, the ideal thing would be maybe say like a label, and then, you know, a piece that it's going to tuck behind. That's going to be just perfect. But again, when I demonstrate, you'll kind of see what I mean. You could use policy closures, in which case you're going to need some like punched circles and then some brads or eyelets for your circles. You know, again, these are just kind of examples of the types of closures. You could use ribbon, you could use sari silk and just tie them round, you know, anything that you like really. And once we've made one or two, you'll see what I mean. And then how you finish your pieces off, it's up to you, but you may like to have some kind of plain paper that you could use for, like, say, a flippy pad inside your pieces, or you may like to put pockets inside, or you may like to sort of glue down, you know, some coffee dyed paper or something for journaling. It's up to you really how you finish these off. And again, you'll see once we've kind of got making, it will become more evident. The only other thing that I would suggest is when you're, you know, using your piece for the outside, you know, the main kind of bulk of the body of the piece, I have got double-sided pages. Now that's because you're going, you know, the folded pieces, and you're going to see the insides of the paper. So if you are not keen on just white insides, if you've got single-sided scrapbooking paper, for example, maybe coffee dye the back. So for some of these, I've just coffee dyed the backs. So, you know, I haven't printed double-sided, I've just coffee dyed the backs. And that will just kind of get over that problem. Aside from those kinds of things, really, you will of course need some glue if you're planning on gluing anything onto your fronts, i.e., you know, the tuck closures, or if you're putting a flippy pad or something inside. Again, if you're making a flippy pad, you may need a stapler or something. That being the case, you may want to have a wipe, and you may want to have a little, you know, glue smusher. And then aside from that, you might want to have your blendy tool and your distress ink. Again, these are optional things. And you may like to have a corner rounder just for some different looks. All of these are optional things. So for the basics, it was the first few things that I mentioned. So let's get making one or two of these, and we'll see just how we make them before we can relax and just have a nice time kind of doing a whole bunch of mass making. So my printer has not printed quite borderless, so I'm going to start by just trimming down the edge of my paper to get the white edge off like that. Okay, now all you're going to be doing is folding in wardrobe style. So I'm going to just demonstrate here. We've got here like that. Okay, squish it down with my scissor handle, and then you want to bring the other side in kind of similar size. So what I think is quite nice to do is if you bend it back on itself like that. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to bring your second side in. Now, these don't have to be identical sizes or anything like that. So I'm just going to judge by eye. So they're more or less the same size, or certainly similar sizes like that. Okay. And then what you want to do is cut your piece off. Now, I find the best, easiest way to do that is if I fold here along kind of where the piece is that it's met, if you see what I mean, like that, and then I can trim that off here, and hopefully they're going to be marrying up. Okay, so we just take that down like that. Oops, shoddy cutting yet again. Oh my goodness, it seems to be just all the time now, doesn't it? All the time I'm just doing shoddy cutting. Don't throw your scraps away, because of course you could use them for something else. Okay, so my piece is actually slightly, you know, slightly bigger, but that's absolutely fine. I can trim it down a little bit more. And like I say, they don't have to be identical, you know, meeting in the middle. If you cut them and you have a space, you know, you cut them and now, let's say I'd cut that too small and I actually have a space in between, you could always just cover it with maybe some trim or some lace or something like that. So don't kind of get too panicked if then, you know, you end up with a sort of, yeah, like a piece too short. Don't kind of bin it. It's still kind of manageable and usable. So then what you want to do is just decide how tall you want your pocket. So I'm going to take it kind of like 2/3 of the way down. And obviously you can make these, you know, any way that you like. Again, I'm going to keep that because I may use it for something, you know, another time. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to just trim my piece slightly more because I have not made a very good job of this. And this is where, of course, if you are somebody who likes to measure, you maybe will be a bit more efficient at making this than I am. But, you know, I'm terrible and don't like to measure or anything. It just throws me off. So I'd rather keep on having to, you know, mess about really than try and measure. So that's all there is to your little wardrobe pocket. And as you can see, that's why, you know, why we've described it as a wardrobe pocket. So at this point, you could obviously add, for example, a little pocket on the inside. So I'm just taking that piece of paper that we cut off the bottom, and obviously that's exactly the right size because it had been, you know, folded in. Okay, just trim that down. Okie dokie. And you could then just have that inside your wardrobe pocket as a little pocket there. So I'm just going to glue that on. So this is where I say, you know, it's up to you how you finish the insides, or even, you know, you may prefer to kind of make your skeleton for these and then save whether or not you want to have a pocket or a, you know, flippy pad or whatever for when you actually come to use them in a journal. So, you know, depending on how you decide to finish these will depend really, you know, whether you need kind of glue or your flimsy paper and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so there we go. And then my front piece. Now this is where I'm going to show you the different types of closures that you can use. I just need to quickly trim this down slightly on the bottom. It's hanging out slightly. There we go. Right. So you could get your circles, for example. Like this. Oh, my circles are different sizes. That was not intentional. So you could get your circles like this, and you can get your string, and you could just make this a little closure like that. Okay, so that's one style of closure that you could use. You could, of course, take something like, for example, some sari silk, and you could then tie around, tie around your piece like that. I mean, to be honest, I don't really have a preference for these. I actually think they're all really, really, really nice closures. So, you know, kind of do experiment around. And if you're not making your closures as you go today, you know, you can do them then when you come to make your journal. And, you know, you may decide that you could just do with something with a, you know, tied up closure, or maybe a policy closure or something like that, you know. But if you are making them, maybe make a variety of different closures, because they'd be really, really nice. So something like that, and then you would just glue this down on the back. Love that. And then the tuck closure. Now this is where I find slightly more complicated. So please excuse my poor description, and I'll just put that out there now. This was my Yellow Roses paper, by the way, here, and it is inside. It is my Pale Damask, my second edition of the Pale Damask collection papers. Okay, so just in case you were wondering what papers I used. So I'm going to take this label. Now it might be that my label is a little bit on the big side, but that's fine. So I'm just going to take my label like this. Okay. Because really what you're looking to do is have something that's going to tuck in behind something else. So like that, for example. And then on the facing side, you would want to have, let's just use, you know, for example, this here, which is one of my music frames. Obviously these are not the right pieces for this, you know, they're too big. You know, it's not going to fit, but, and they're the wrong color, to be honest. But you would have this glued on here on this one flap, and this you would glue down, you know, potentially maybe on 3 sides or something, or like to here. Yeah, sorry, scrap that, not on 3 sides, just to here. And then you would obviously, when you close it, you would tuck that in behind there. Okay, so let me see if I've got something that's going to work better with this than these, because it's very hard to demonstrate when it's not quite the right piece. And this is really annoying because now I can't really see anything that's going to be, oh, here we go. Yeah, that's going to be much better. Okay, so I'm going to just demonstrate this. So I'm going to ink up my label. And I'm so sorry if this is like, you know, teaching you to suck eggs. This is the type of thing that, you know, kind of still now I find this slightly kind of confusing and think, oh, is that going to work? So I just want to demonstrate for anybody who's not done this type of closure before. So, you know, I apologise if it's really boring if you use this type of thing all the time. But just, you know, for those people who maybe don't, I want to try and be, you know, a little bit on the helpful side. So this is basically going to be your closure. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this down here onto the, you know, let's call it flap 1. Or, you know, this on the left hand side. Okay, so like that. Obviously, like I said, this is quite a big label for this piece, but I'm just using what I already had printed off. Oops. Okay, now I might have put a bit much glue on there, so I'm just going to smoosh it down from being open. Okay, like that. Then what you want to do for your piece that this is going to tuck into, in order to ensure that you don't glue too far, if you see what I mean, have it, oops, have it like this, tucked, then open this, holding your label kind of like in place, if you see what I mean. So hopefully you can see that. I've got my label there and what's going to be my closure. And that way I know my glue needs to go like that far across the piece. Okay, and then you can just literally shut your wardrobe again like that and just glue that down. So that's a kind of bit of a trick really, to make sure that you don't spread your glue too far onto, you know, the piece. So glue that down like that, and that's it. That's your closure. Obviously mine is not glued down sufficiently, so I might just leave it kind of, well, that's not really heavy, but yeah, leave this on here, just weighing it down while it dries. So that's kind of all there is to those, and you know, very, very quick and easy. So I'll demonstrate one more just before we like assembly line some of these. So this again is my pale damask, and it's backed onto my documents collection. Okay, so I'm going to just cut this down here. Oops, again where it didn't print borderless. Okay, like that. And then again, all you're going to do is you're going to fold this in like this. So, you know, just as wide as you want your pocket to be, this is going to be half that width, if you see what I mean. So squish that down like that, and then take your facing side, bring it in so it's kind of, you know, roughly the same again. Oops, like that. I mean, again, I don't know really how you know, symmetrical or similar those sides are, but hopefully it's okay. And then again, take this back on itself, kind of in line with the other side, and that's going to kind of just help you with where to cut that. Okay, now when I look, I need to go over by a millimetre or so, just going to, and to be honest, I haven't really even folded that very straight, so just going over like that. Okay, cut that whole strip off. Again, going to keep this because we may like to use that for something else in a, you know, in another day, or on another day. So that's it. That's your little wardrobe. And then again, cut it down to the height that you want. You might like to have some this full height. Obviously this is, you know, a full page, so this would be the full height of a journal page. Now I think that's quite nice to have the full height of a journal page, in which case, you know, leave that like that. And actually this one I think would look absolutely scrumptious with this sari silk closure, because it's, you know, perfect colour match, isn't it? So I might just tie that round there, and then, you know, who knows, maybe just leave this until such time as I'm going to use it, and then decide, you know, whether to actually glue it on or not. So just take that down there. But that's kind of given me this suggestion of what I was thinking to use as a closure. And again, you know, up to you really whether you wanted to put like a pocket inside, or whether you wanted to, you know, keep it as it is. So if I just open this back out. Oops. I'm sorry, so it had all threads on which are then getting caught up. So I'm going to just take it like that, and then just fold this back on itself, which I wonder actually, whether I could have a double pocket maybe. So we'll just take this down like that, fold that in, cut it down, and then what I've got is a little double pocket arrangement, because obviously this is a very tall wardrobe. So I could have those in there like that, and I've got a pocket there and a pocket there. So how gorgeous does that look? So I'm going to just quickly glue those on. So I'll just quickly glue this down. Now I might glue just down the sides here, so like more like a belly band. Now the reason why I've done that is because this is going to be tucked behind this pocket, and then you can go right the way down the page, you know, something very long and tall. Whereas if I glued it here, you've only got the shallow depth of this actual pocket, if that makes sense. So by just kind of gluing it more belly band style, I've allowed myself the full height of the wardrobe, which, you know, in this instance, that's the full height of the journal page. So it's giving me a lot of space to be able to tuck something in. So that's that one. And then this one, just again glue this down, and obviously I do want to go across the bottom of this one like that, and then we'll just glue this one down there like that. Okay, so again just smoosh that down like that. Okay, so that's just a little, you know, different sort of look, I suppose, you know, different use, because you've got a double pocket inside, which is, you know, something else quite fun to have. So again, just put my closure around. I mean, to be honest, I love this sari silk, so I'm going to actually glue this on because I can't picture that I'm going to suddenly, you know, not love it. So I'm going to just glue it on across the back. Whoops, it's very twisted. Oh, come on. I mean, not that it really matters, but if I'm gluing it on, I might as well try and get it as flat as possible. So yeah, just going to use my wet glue there, press that down like that. Okay, and that's it. How gorgeous is that pocket? It's very classy, isn't it, that one? Kind of quite wedding-y for some reason. I don't know why it reminds me of wedding-y, but yeah, looks quite wedding-y to me. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? So that's that one. So let's kind of just get assembly lining these. So I'm going to do all the kind of steps in one hit, if that makes sense. So, you know, all my cutting of the paper, all my like folding of the paper, you know, if I'm going to put some pockets in, maybe do that in one go as well. So yeah, let's just get sort of mass making. Now I've also got a couple of papers here in smaller size, which I thought these would make some little cute like half size pockets. So I'm just going to take that one down there, just before I get making the, you know, foundation. I'm just kind of trimming the actual paper down to size, so otherwise that's going to straight away put a spanner in the works. So that one and this one. Now these are my autumn for 2024, so autumn's upon us kit, and I only put it in my shop last week. So yeah, it's quite a new one. I'm in the middle of making a journal with it, so I have got a launch video coming up, but until I finish the journal, I don't really want to do the launch video, because then I'll feel really pressured to hurry up and finish the journal. And to be honest, yeah, I'm nowhere near finished at the moment. So yeah, I need to get down doing it. There we go. Okay, right, I've cut my piece of paper down, so I'm just going to assembly line these. So yep, we can just relax now, have a lovely time, have a nice catch up, and yeah, just kind of hopefully be super productive. I've made a bit of a mess here on my desk. I like to have my you know, glue tipped up so that it's keen to come out when I come to use it during a video, but yeah, it was a bit too keen, I think. So right, okay, so I hope everybody's week has started out well. For those who watch my channel, you'll know that I generally film these videos on a Monday to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So, yep, I'm filming this on the Monday morning. So, it's, yeah, it's coming to the end of the summer holidays, would you believe? I mean, honestly, they've whizzed by. I'm going to do this one this way because I want to try and get this whole lady in. Okay, so I'm going to just take this back like that. There we go. This is my new lovely lavender collection papers. And again, I put these in, I think it was the same day I did the autumn papers. So I'm just going to trim this edge down. Oh dear. There we go. So yeah, it's the last day of the summer holidays, would you believe? So it's whizzed by. We've done literally nothing this summer holidays, so I feel slightly guilty now. But yeah, anyway, it's just, you know, that's kind of one of those things. But yeah, anyway, I think sometimes children like to do not a lot. So I think, you know, my daughter's had an okay time, to be honest. So, oops, I might have to take this out slightly wider. In fact, I might have to just go with the full width of that, like that. There we go. So yeah, she goes back tomorrow. So we have got her school uniform and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, we're all kind of ready to go. So that's all good. So, yep, we bought those bits last week. So, yep, she's all ready to go. This will be where she decides her shoes are not very comfortable. Oh, do you know, I was going to do... Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to do them like this, really, because... Oh, well, we'll just see how we get on, I think. Right. There we go. Oh, look. Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. That was awful. I mean, although I said they didn't really have to be the same size, that just looked so off. In fact, it still does. Oh, not very good with these smaller bits of paper, obviously. No, can't judge for the life of me with the small bits. Now I've gone too small. Oh my goodness, terrible making today. Yeah, so anyway, very super busy this week because, oh my goodness, I feel just like, I can't believe I'm saying this again. Yes, we're moving out of our house again because we are renting it again. So I've talked about this so many times now. This is the I think this might be the 6th time that we've done this. So yeah, we have an event locally to us. The Goodwood Festival of Speed is the one in the summer, and then we have now, like, you know, in the autumn, the Goodwood Revival, and that is next weekend, or this coming weekend. So yeah, this coming weekend. So yeah, oh my goodness, look at my shambolic wardrobe. That's awful, isn't it? So this is where I say that you could cover that up with some lace or something. So perhaps I'll try and remember that, and we'll decorate this one. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'd just put some lace down one of the sides, and then, you know, that would disguise that. Yeah, so anyway, it's the revival coming up this weekend. And yes, we've rented our house out again for the event. Oh my goodness, why I still do this is beyond me, but, you know, oh gosh, it's so much work. So yeah, moving out, and, you know, I've talked about this so many times now, probably like a scratch record, but so basically consists of moving out, you know, of the house. Now, when I say moving out, I'm meaning literally clear your clothes all out the wardrobes, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Obviously clean everywhere, and all of that, so that people can come and stay here. So yeah, this was sorry, both of these were the Autumns Upon Us collection. Not collection, sorry, kit. This is my Paris papers. So yeah, let's just kind of do one or two with this as well. So yeah, it's I'm going to cut this down. Actually, I'm going to try doing it an alternative way by cutting, say, this section off and seeing how that works. So we'll just see how this works. this time. And then we've only got a certain width to play with, although to be honest, I'm now kind of thinking I've taken that way too narrow. So I think I'm going to regret this. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so I started cleaning yesterday. We are moving out on Thursday. We are going to stay with my lovely sister Natalie. So, oh my goodness, thank the Lord that she's, you know, allowing us to stay there. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, yes, it's going to be, yeah, just, well, just thank goodness really that we're going to be having it over with. So yeah, I started yesterday cleaning. So cleaned the bathroom and said to my daughter she has to now use my shower, you know, my shower in my ensuite toilet. So yep, and I started cleaning my daughter's bedroom only to then discover I don't seem to be able to locate the white bedding that I always put on, you know, when the guests stay. So I'm going to have to pop out and buy some bedding now. Yeah, so I've said to my daughter, please don't go into your bedroom again, you know, because oh, she's very messy and I don't want her obviously making a mess in there now that I've started tidying. So yeah, she slept in with me last night, me and Bo, and her. I'm also in the process of making some digis. So yesterday I got up at 7:20, started doing digis on my laptop, did that for a few hours, then was cleaning, then went back to the digis, and I didn't switch my laptop off until about 10 o'clock. So yeah, I was literally all day long. But it's fine, and hey, like, a change is as good as a rest, as they say. So because I was doing like digis and the cleaning, it was okay, because it wasn't like I was doing only the cleaning, you know, I broke it up, so that was okay. But the reason I mention that is because when I make digis, once I've kind of like got them, you know, a bunch of them, I scatter them across the floor. Now I've already cleaned our living room, so nobody's allowed in there now. So yeah, whereas I maybe would do them, scatter them across the living room floor, obviously I can't be doing that. So I've scattered them across my bedroom floor. So walk around my bed, they're there, all across the floor. So there's me and my daughter and Bo and all these bits of paper scattered across the floor. You know, just being kind of like trampled on and kicked around by everybody. Yeah, not great, but oh, it's just a tip, to be honest. And obviously I said to my daughter, right, let's put all your clothes that you're going to want for the next week into a bag, you know, and you can just live out the carrier bag kind of thing, like in my room. So she's done that. So all of her stuff is in there, obviously all of my stuff's in there. Yeah, it's really messy. I mean, I always think you do have to go through the mess to get to the better, don't you? But oh, it's not good. Everywhere's very, very messy. So yeah, not enjoying it. But, and obviously doors are closed on the rooms that I've cleaned. The doors are now closed, so nobody can go into those rooms. Sorry, this was the rich damask from the second edition collection as well, and this was also the documents on the inside of there. So that's that one. Okay, and then got here, this is my roses collection on both sides of the roses collection. So yeah, just want to decide. Yep. So I just need to take this down here. So yeah, that's kind of the big news, is obviously all that cleaning going on. So, you know, although obviously we're not moving out until Thursday, my daughter goes back to school tomorrow, so I'll spend Tuesday and Wednesday the whole day cleaning. Today I'm obviously going to spend the whole day working here, and then yeah, Thursday obviously actually moving out. So yeah, I just wanted to get a head start really yesterday, because oh, I just always get a bit stressed, to be honest, and yeah, I just get a bit panicked that I'm not going to have time to do everything, because, you know, like things like clean the oven, you know, all them things, weed the back garden, all of those kinds of things that, you know, generally I don't really necessarily do ever. You know, like, well, I mean, I guess occasionally I might weed the garden. Really, very, very rarely clean the oven, although I did obviously clean it last time we rented our house, actually, and the time before that. So probably this is doing me a brilliant favour, because actually I'm cleaning areas that otherwise perhaps I would never ever get around to cleaning. So yeah, anyway, feeling a little bit flustered, obviously, you know, ready for the big clean. But yeah, right, okay, now just let me check what the time is. Okay, so probably at this point I'm going to do some pockets and things inside these. So today, for some reason, I'm absolutely loving these really tall ones. I think in past videos, you know, in past mass makes, I've made kind of predominantly short ones, but actually I'm really, really loving the look of these tall ones today. So I might, yeah, might stick with predominantly the tall ones, I think. So yeah, let me know what you think. Is your preference the tall ones, or do you like the small ones? I'm really liking the tall ones. I think they're really nice. Okay, so I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has left a comment, you know, since my video last week, which the mass making video, which I responded to the lovely Barbara over at 49 Dragonflies, kind of well, not responded to her really, but responded in response to her video. None of that made sense even to my own ears, but yeah, sort of put a response to her video where she talked about, you know, YouTube channels kind of dying. So yeah, I put out in my mass making, you know, just talked about this and said how, you know, I'd found it such a relief that Barbara had kind of broached this subject, because, you know, I myself have been obviously pretty concerned by, you know, dwindling views, I suppose, on my own channel. And yeah, I mean, it is really worrying, you know, especially obviously if that's your sort of source of income, really. But also, I mean, obviously it's disappointing, and it's kind of, yeah, quite demoralising and demotivating. And, you know, I talked about the fact it's like a catch-22, because the more it's dwindling, the more I'm worrying, the more probably rubbish that, you know, your content becomes, because you're lacking confidence and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to just put the, you know, do the pockets first, and then we'll come back to do the, I wonder whether I could get 2 pockets out of here, because no, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? So for this one, I might do some flippy pads, but I might have to do them later, because I'm not sure I've got any long enough paper. Oh, here we go, hold on. Got some vintage document, so yeah. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, so it just becomes this kind of like perpetual cycle of kind of worry, really. So just want to really thank everybody who has made such a big, massive effort. Thank you so much. To comment on my video, and, you know, I'm sure you're commenting on Barbara's videos and things now as well. You know, that goes such a huge way to helping people's channels, because, you know, the YouTube algorithm, and I talked about this obviously, you know, in the video last week, the YouTube algorithm, it operates on a like engagement with the video sort of basis. So the more engagement that it's getting, you know, a video is getting, or a channel is getting, you know, the more it promotes the videos. And so, you know, if there's not a lot of chat going on down in the chat, or not many people are thumbs up in the video and things like that, then the YouTube algorithm, and, you know, this isn't a person, this is a, you know, computer generated thing, or an automated, perhaps I should say an automated process. It then doesn't really promote the videos, because it kind of thinks, oh, this is rubbish, you know, nobody much is enjoying this, you know, and then your videos don't get really seen by many people. You know, so like I say, that's very upsetting and worrying, you know, because you spend obviously all this time doing videos and, you know, what have you, and yeah, then if they're not kind of being picked up by the algorithm, and they're just, sort of, you know, sinking, then, you know, that's quite kind of, yeah, demotivating and sort of miserable and things like that. So yeah, thank you so much. I really do appreciate everybody's taking the time to comment. Obviously I've replied to a lot of comments. You know, I mean, it may be that I will just heart most comments, you know, because obviously, you know, I do read them, and I've talked about this before. I'm a really chatty person, and so, you know, I struggle to then curb my chat, you know, and not get really kind of into having a chat. So yeah, I might just kind of like yeah, just heart the comments, to be honest, because they are you know, very engaging and very tempting, and then before I know it, I'm like, oh, I've been chatting on here for ages. So yeah, I will heart them, but please know that I am reading the comments, and you know, I love hearing from you all. And you know, what I really love is making friends with you all. And you know, obviously, you know, I can't claim to recognize everybody's name or anything like that, but there's a lot of names that I do recognize, and I genuinely feel like I then know a lot of you, you know. Oh, I might have to go for that. That's going to be a pathetic pocket, isn't it? Oh, that's pathetic. Yeah, I'm going to go for a flippy pad instead, and just luckily I've got this just the right size. So yeah, you know, what I love to do is like hear about you guys' lives, and you know, really kind of get to know you all. And you know, when I then see the comments, I think, oh, that's so and so, oh, you know, how lovely. Maybe, you know, they might tell me, people might tell me that, you know, they're working on this at the moment, or that, or, you know, whatever. And that's so fun to hear, and so lovely. And you really feel then, you know, like you're in these people's kind of lives, you know, and that you've kind of made a little, you know, a proper sort of friend, and a, you know, formed a relationship, which is just, yeah, so lovely. So yeah, thank you so much to everybody who has commented. And you know, I know that lots of you have kind of said maybe you don't know what to say in a comment, and you know, it's taking you kind of outside of your comfort zone. So even more, you know, that I really do appreciate that you are then, you know, making that effort outside of your comfort zone to comment. And of course I realize that, you know, it's not always possible to comment. You know, there's you know, times where you're kind of like maybe listening while you're cooking and things like that. Of course you can't always comment. So, you know, I do get that as well. And please don't ever feel the need that you have to apologize or anything for not commenting, because, you know, that's just how life is, and that's absolutely fine too. So, but please know I am super grateful. So thank you so much. But oh, that was what I was going to say. So those people who've kind of said, you know, you don't know what to say, and you know, you feel bad, but you might just have to leave an emoji or whatever, that's absolutely fine. You know, that's wonderful too, because, you know, it's still kind of engagement, and it's still you know, showing that you're kind of interested and watching. And as well, I'm still going to then notice your name and things like that, and still form a sort of, you know, a bond, if you like, by kind of recognizing your name and thinking, oh, that's, you know, that's so and so, they've commented, you know, which is really, yeah, what encourages kind of and makes you feel really part of a community. So yeah, do you know, feel free to kind of just leave an emoji if that's kind of all that you feel that, you know, is within your comfort zone to do. And, you know, please don't feel bad or sort of say, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, I don't know what to say. That's absolutely, you know, awesome. Thank you. And I just appreciate, you know, whatever kind of that you're doing. It's really lovely of you to take the time to do that. So thank you so much. And I just want to say to the lovely Teresa, thank you so much for purchasing the journal that I did a flip through of on Sunday. So, yep, I really hope that you love that journal. Yep, it was one that I completed a few months ago, I suppose. And, yeah, I've been hoarding it. So pathetic, I know, but yes, been hoarding it. So I'm really pleased that it's going to a lovely home and you're really thrilled to have bought it. So yeah, thank you so much. Right, okay. So what have I been watching? I finished that thing, The Accident, that I had started watching, or I had been watching, I think, in last week's Mass Make. Yeah, really, really, really good. Really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, that was my, oh gosh, that was my thing that I have been watching. I don't really think that I've watched anything much, to be honest. Been sort of just quite busy and, you know, not doing anything interesting, but just busy working. I apologise that I didn't do a sort of full-blown restock on my website. I did put a few things in there. I put some more paperclip packs and things in there, and oh gosh, what else did I put in there? I think I put some paper fillers in there and things, maybe a tag bag, a couple of tag bags in there. Yeah, just because I then suddenly sort of thought, well, actually, it's Goodwood, I'm going to be moving out, so you know, it's probably best not to have too many things that need posting, because you know, Natalie's obviously not going to be coming on Thursday, so she's the person who does the posting, and I'm going to have to obviously take things to her to post, you know, whereas normally she comes to my house. So I just thought, well, actually, this is going to be open to yeah, just kind of error, really, you know, because I'm going to have to take things, then she's going to have to take things. So I just thought, well, actually, better off doing it next week. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. So gluing my bits and pieces in now. So obviously this one, I've done that double pocket in there. So this one, I have just made this little flippy pad, or, you know, in the process of making this little flippy pad like that. Okay, so I just literally staple it in a couple of places. Haven't been to the cinema, which is a shame, because there was a film that my son and I both wanted to see. I think it was called, might have been called Blink Twice. I think it was called Blink Twice. It might have been called Click Twice. I'm sure it was called Blink Twice. It was with Channing Tatum. Looked quite good. Yeah. So, yeah, we wanted to go and see that, but we just haven't had a chance to go and see it. So I don't know really as we'll get the chance now. Because like I say, obviously we're going to be busy, you know, for the next few days. So yeah, not sure we're going to get to go and see that. I've offered my daughter tons of times to go and watch Despicable Me 4. She has not wanted to go and see that. She does not like going to the cinema. Oh, she's here now, listening in, thinking, oh no, Mum's going to drag me to the cinema. I'm saying how you don't like going to the cinema, do you, sweetie?
No.
No, why don't you? Well, can you be a bit more?
Just don't like movies.
You don't like movies? I mean, who doesn't like movies? Just, oh my goodness. She doesn't like movies, would you believe? So, yeah, very boring. Very boring. She's now pulling her face at me. So, yeah. Are you looking forward to going back to school tomorrow? Sweetie pie?
Kind of.
Are you? Yeah? Is that because it's just been so boring this holiday, being at home with Mummy? We've been really boring, haven't we? We've done nothing. Yeah. Oops, sorry. I'm getting glue everywhere because I'm trying to, you know, keep my glue seeping out. And now it's, wow, seeping out really a lot. What's up, sweetie? Sorry, I'm just going to have to stop the camera for a moment because my daughter just wants to obviously say something. So, yeah, I'll be back in a moment. Hold on. Oh, sorry about that. Right, okay, so that's that one. And then this one. Oh, we've got the double pocket. Forgot about that. Which way up do I think that looks better? I don't know, to be honest. Either way, I think is fine. Yeah, okay. There we go. So my son went out on Saturday night I've talked about this before. So he's just turned 18, you know, a few weeks ago. So he, yeah, went out kind of on the town. I mean, he's been out a few times since he's been 18, actually. But this was kind of the first time he'd been out, like, sort of locally-ish, you know, where we live. So, yeah, he didn't come in till 2 o'clock in the morning. And then, of course, yesterday, he was feeling the worse for wear. And he kind of, like, yeah, didn't particularly get up and sort of be functioning until, oh, it must have been nearly 5 o'clock. So, yes, he's obviously going into that stage now. Which, you know, of course, we all did those things when we were young, didn't we? But, yeah, just made me laugh because he's not really, you know, big on that. And to be honest, I mean, I don't know how much he really had to drink, but he didn't particularly seem too drunk. I mean, it was 2 o'clock in the morning when he got in and I had to go and let him in. So that's how come I know what he was like when he got in. You know, because I thought he must have been staying out, and I'd messaged him and said, you know, you're coming home, I'll bolt the door. And of course he didn't message me back, so I hadn't heard from him, and so I did bolt the door because I thought, oh, he must be staying with a friend. No, obviously he just hadn't messaged me back. So it got to 2 o'clock and he then woke me up in the middle of the night FaceTiming me saying, Mum, can you let me in please? So that was fine. He's a very, very good boy. So yeah, went and obviously let him in, but yeah, he didn't seem overly drunk, but he felt rubbish yesterday. A combination of, I think, maybe a slight hangover, but also very tired because, you know, we don't really do late nights, to be honest, and he doesn't either. So I think he was, yeah, struggling kind of with a bit of a hangover as well, so. But yeah. There we go. They're really nice, aren't they, these wardrobe pockets? And again, you know, I've talked about this so many times, but these mass makings, they're such a brilliant reminder because I don't know about you guys, I really do forget the things that we make, you know, and coming on now, doing these, it's just such a brilliant way to remember. Oops. There we go. Okay. Yeah, such a brilliant way to remember, you know, things that you've made before. And obviously keep your stocks, you know, sort of stacked or stocked. Keep your stocks stocked. There we go. Well, I have to say I've not been quite as healthy as I would have liked either. So, yeah, was trying to be healthy. Not really very healthy last week at all. There was a couple of nights where I had like a family bag of crisps for my dinner. Not very good. Yep. It's been a bit better. The weekend I was a bit better. Had like sweet jacket potato on Saturday night and I had a salad last night. So yeah, I was a bit better, but not great. Not great prior to that. Always a struggle, isn't it? Always a struggle. Yeah, there's just too many nice things, and yeah, it's just boring, isn't it, when you're not eating those nice things? So oops. Don't know what's going on with the weather. So yesterday was incredibly hot, but of course I didn't go out of the house because I was just cleaning. So yeah, I didn't benefit from the nice weather yesterday at all. Oh my goodness, what have I done with that bottom bit? I've just made that look really bad. Yeah, didn't go out of the house at all. I was just cleaning all day, but it was, you know, very, very, very hot because I had to go and take like the rubbish out and things like that. And my goodness, it was boiling, absolutely boiling. Today, not so boiling. And in fact, it was chucking it down with rain first thing this morning. It's not raining now, thankfully, but yeah, it was raining first thing. Okay, so we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is pretty good. 9 of these. Now, I did say that I would try and do this one, didn't I? Because I'd made that muck up here with the, you know, the side not being quite the same size as the other side. So let's just squish this down like that. Okay. Right, I don't know what I'm going to be using on this. Again, these are going to be all too big, aren't they? Yep. Didn't really think of this very well, did I? Aha. Ooh, that's quite good on there. Yeah, okay. So that's quite nice. Right, let me think what I'm going to do here as my closure, because I'm going to put some lace down the edge, which will obviously, you know, covering up where I've done that shoddy cutting. So I've got some lace here. Oh, that was just tangling on the floor. What a result. Now, what I was going to do was take the lace right down the edge, but to be honest, I don't really even need to do that. I could just kind of have it like that. I'm not saying quite like that, but you know, I don't even need to really kind of put the lace right down the edge. It would be fine, or even just up there, because down here I've got it more or less in the, you know, where it needs to be. So I could just put the lace on this part up here, and that would, yeah, that would kind of disguise that. So I'm just going to put some lace up there. So very different kind of look here. Right, let me just chop this down straighter, because it's a bit sort of wonky. Well, not wonky, a bit curved actually it looked. So we just put that down there. Right. Okay, squish that down like that. Okay, I'll just trim this down here. Yeah, I just can't believe that summer holidays already finished. I mean, oh my goodness. It goes so quickly, doesn't it? I mean, you know, you do realise that the next thing, we're going to be talking about Christmas, aren't we? I mean, that's crazy. Does not seem at all Christmas time, you know. I know it's not, but it's only a matter of time, isn't it, before it is now. So this is one of my frames, and I've just put a gorgeous picture in this. I do have a video coming up with these, so yeah, it will be coming. Now I've just got these, and I'm not saying that this is going to be quite right, but can't help but just think maybe. I mean, we could keep it really nice and colourless, or we could add a bit of, you know, unexpected colour. So let's just take those 4 there. Just have those up the top. Oops, like that. And then this one here. Now I'm wondering, just take this down a minute. Oops, let's take that in half. Like that. Now, what closure do we want to do with this? So we could do the thingamy-bob. I'm just wondering, I mean, we could even just do a little bit of string to there. That's possibly a bit weird. Let me just try it around this way. Could do it to there like that, or we might just have a label or something, again, like we did on that other one with the tuck thing. So what did I do with my labels? Okay, let's just see. Okay, this one might be okay. Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, can't believe that we're going to be talking about Christmas. That's just like, wow. where has the time gone? Oh, gosh. Lord only knows. Lord only knows. It's flown by so quick. I say this all the time, but I mean, honestly, time just goes quicker and quicker every year. And I assume that's because, you know, it's less and less of your... Less and less of your life? Yeah, like the percentage is kind of smaller, isn't it? If you see what I mean. Whereas, like, you know, if you're like 2, 1 year is 50% of your life, isn't it? Whereas when you're obviously older, you know, 1 year is hardly anything. Right. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that, I think. So again, what we want to do is glue the label on. And I can move this label over here a bit. Actually, I'm just going to check that I want it that way around and not this way. Let's just check. I might prefer it that way, yeah. So I'm going to take the label and I'm going to glue it to this line to have it glued down on that side. So, yep. Okie dokie, like that. Okay, squish that down. Yeah, I do love these types of closures. I don't know really what the terminology for them would be, but I kind of think they're like a tuck closure, aren't they? Because you're tucking, you know, tucking a piece into another piece. I don't know really whether that's the name of them. I don't even know if they have a name, but yeah, they're very cute. But for some reason, they do always cause me a little bit of like, oh, how does that work? They just seem a little bit complicated to me. So, yeah. Don't know if I'm the only person. Right, so again, take this up like that so that I know exactly where I need to take my glue to. Okay, because I just know I don't want to glue beyond where that label is, if you see what I mean. So then take that and pop that down there, like that. Okay, like that. Whoa, whoa. Okay, squish that down. Okay, really press that. And then I think I've got a couple of lilac-y butterflies, which I'm just kind of thinking, you know, if I'm having this like this with these flowers on, then maybe a lilac butterfly or something might be quite nice to have on there as well. So yeah, let's just do that. Actually, let me just weigh this down with my stapler, just because you know, for some reason when it's kind of like got a little tuck in there, I mean, I guess really there's not that much of the part that's actually glued down. Maybe that's what it is, but you know, I just feel like it needs a bit of extra pressure to get it to actually stay glued. There we go. Like that. Now, just check whether I might prefer the flower on the label actually. Yep. Like that. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to go to the revival. So this is the it's the car thing, and I did do a video of it when I went to it a couple of years ago. I did a, you know, spend the day with me kind of video with it's not quite the right colour, is it? But let me see if I've got any more butterflies that might be a better colour. If not, I'll go with that one. Got that one. No, that's probably worse still. What about this one? Oh, that one might be better. It's just a bit more subtle, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to go to the revival or not. So I went a couple of years ago and I did like a, you know, video, kind of a come to the revival with me video. Perhaps I will try and link that to this video, in fact. So as you can see the, you know, the thing that I'm talking about, that I'm renting my house out for. So I'll just pop that one down on there. There we go. Yeah, so I have got, you know, a lovely friend of mine works up there, doing something up there, barbering up there, and yeah, he's offered me a ticket, so I can, you know, can go if I'd like to. And Natalie is going with a friend of hers, so she's very kindly said that I can go with them if I want to. I'm going to see what the weather's like, so obviously I haven't bought an outfit. Everybody gets just dressed up in sort of period outfits. I haven't bought an outfit or anything, but obviously I've got outfits from the previous couple of years where I have been, so I can just wear something I've already got. But yeah, providing it's not raining, I think I will go. But if it's raining, I won't bother. So yeah, because I mean, to be honest, it's not really a fun day out when it's raining, you know, especially if you're dressed up, because you're just then your heels are going down in the grass and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, it's a good day out otherwise. So this is the finished one. Now, just because I sometimes get comments asking how I would use these, so just to say, I personally would use this by gluing it on 3 sides, and then it would be like a side loading tuck spot. So that's kind of, yeah, just a suggestion how I would use this on a junk journal page. I wonder if I've got a junk journal going on that I can just quickly show you. Oops. Okay. Oops. So this is a junk journal I've been working on for weeks and weeks now. It's kind of come to a grinding halt for some reason, but yeah. So that's how it would look on a page. Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really cute. I mean, doesn't that look lovely on that doily? What a shame that you couldn't really put it on the doily because it would be way too flimsy, but yeah. I mean, look at it on that lovely colour. So yeah, I mean, they're just really, really cute pockets, aren't they? So yeah, really hope that you like them. That's your folding out your wardrobe pockets for junk journals. So I really hope that you like them. I hope that you have a lovely time if you decide to make a bunch. Would really appreciate a massive thumbs up. Would really appreciate a comment maybe, or you know, if you haven't really got time to comment or anything, maybe just like a emoji or something, you know, just a wave to just say hi. That would be fantastic down in the comments below. That would be great. Thank you. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic week. Obviously I will see you in my couple of videos you know, in between, but yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks then. Bye.